What's going on, guys? This is the trade breakdown for the short setup that I took on Tuesday, September 24th. I'll go over exactly why I was short and the reasoning behind my take profits. So first, before we get into anything, here is proof of my execution. As always, I sold 10 MNQ contracts and I traded 2 minutes right before the high impact news at 10 a.m. And I'll go over why I did that here in a second. So this is the hourly chart. This is what I was looking at before as I sat down on my desk. This candle wasn't here yet. Um, this is Monday's high. We're failing to displace above Monday high, and then we get this engulfing candle at 5 a.m. that closes below this last up close candle. And so, to me, when I'm expecting the Asia low and the ultimate draw will be Monday's previous day's low. As a draw on liquidity, this signals to me that this is the change in the state of delivery, and then this candle confirms it. You see how 6 a.m. candle completely rebalances this order block, and it is also an open high low close candle. That's what you want to be seeing. So what I was looking at was this hourly FVG and midnight price. Price completely filled in this gap and then kind of bounced, but I wasn't expecting this to hold. None of these PD arrays, none of these order blocks are high probability enough to be able to sponsor us into this Thursday high and then our previous monthly high, which is up there as well. And what do we also have? We have pools of liquidity right below previous day's low. So we have relative equal lows, Asia low, and previous day's low. So very high probability stacked up. This is low resistance liquidity down here. So now I went into the 15-minute chart and I saw that we had this order block here, reject price. This was our real displacement leg here. And what did we create? More order blocks, 2 fair value gaps. You'd see if you draw a fib from high to low, where price is rejecting from. Price is bouncing from this 15-minute fair value gap. Like I said, I wasn't anticipating any of these PD rays to hold. If I was wrong, I would have needed to see, if my short bias was wrong, I would have needed to see candle closure above these 2 down close candles. And now this would have been a high probability array, most likely, for price to go higher. But you can see, here's the 15-minute candles, and here's 9:30. Manipulation, open, high, low, close. This is your turtle soup. Into what? You can see this order block again. Same order block that's rejected price here and here. And then we displace lower. Completely engulfing this candle, running this stops above this candle at 9:15. Now if we zoom in more, I was looking at this up here, this 5-minute fair value gap as a breakaway gap. We were rebalancing already off of this. I believe that hits that to the penny. Here is the low of that candle at 129.50. The high of this candle is 129.50. Yeah, so that's exactly why you can be expecting this to be a breakaway gap. And if you zoom in more, on the 1 minute, this is where I took my execution. You can see that price. This is where I should have shorted, but I wasn't entirely sure just because of the SMT with ES. ES was kind of already much lower. It already took out this 830 low you can see right here. NQ's kind of just chopping. But once I understood that we're failing to get above Monday high, all these PD arrays are being rejected. We have SMT here as well. NQ made a new high at 930, while ES is kind of just grinding lower. And we had our very strong drawn liquidity down here. Asia low, relative equal lows, Monday's low. And if we're setting up for a bullish week, we know that we have final GDP on Thursday. And Tuesday could be the low of the week after Monday's low gets swept. So that's why you could be targeting and expecting price to go lower, because price only moves from liquidity to imbalance or imbalance to liquidity. There's no other way that price does that. And if you look into any time frame of this day, you can see that bullish PD arrays are failing. And now what? We have bearish PD arrays starting to act as resistance. And what's important is to, when you're reading order flow, note how sloppy or how well price is respecting arrays, right? You can see how clean this 1 minute contract encroachment acted at 9:39. Look how perfect that is. And then we go lower. Now this high shouldn't be revisited because of why? We have SMT here. A lot of SMT. But this high should now be cemented. And I actually wanted to go short right inside of here, which I should have. But I wasn't entirely convinced that ES wasn't going to give us a little pop back up. So I kind of just waited. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. You guys don't have to be taking trades that you're not completely okay with putting on risk, right? So that's why I didn't trade this. But if you draw a fib from this high to low, you can see exactly where price is repricing to, right? Right into a premium, into this high, into this other liquidity pool, into the 1 minute fair value gap, and then lower. And this high was also that 5 minute high of that order block. So this high should now be protected. We have a fair value gap in here that you could go short off of as well. Doesn't get respected well. I don't normally like to short these small fair value gaps, but you can see this up close candle is acting as resistance. And once I saw that price continuing to respect bearish PD arrays, I knew that I was on sides. ES started to just chop a little bit as well, and NQ was starting to catch up on the bearish side. We finally took out that 830 low, came immediately back into the range, waited a little bit longer once again, but you can see all price is doing is continuing to reprice into what? A premium before going lower. So once I saw that we created these 3 drives pattern, we have 1, 2, and then we have 3 here, I knew that this high should not be revisited, also because this is another form of turtle soup, and it was during the macro time. So once I saw that we closed below this up close candle, I knew that this high should not be revisited. And we also have 10 o'clock news occurring, and there is a sequence between 8:30, 10:30, or 8:30, 9:30, and 10 o'clock, especially if there's 10 o'clock news, which I'll go over here in a second. But this is exactly what I wanted to see as well. I knew that I needed to get in fast, but I didn't see the 30-second. I don't like to enter on the 30-second. I waited to see if this up close candle was going to get closed below. It did right here. I went short right off this immediate rebalance of this up close candle. As you can see right here, I got filled right at 20,100. And it was 2 minutes before news. I knew that news is just going to drive price exactly where it was going to go in the first place, and you can see the displacement that it gives. And all of my targets were hit. I took some off at this 15-minute low just because I have to trade a little different on this MyFunded Futures starter account. I can't make too much money, so I took off 5 there. Then I sold a little more. I sold 3 more lower just to take off more profit, and then I sold 1 at Asia low, and then 1 at these relative equal lows here at 1650. And eventually Monday's low got hit, a little bit of chop, and then Monday low got taken there. But this was the sequence that I was looking at, the time sequence, and the power of 3, right? This is your accumulation inside of here. Here is your manipulation leg up into what? Your key level. And then what do we have? A flip and order flow, right? Now we're starting to reject highs, and now bearish PD arrays are now being respected. And so now this is your accumulation here. This is your A. This is your M. And then you can see this is your D. Into what? Our Monday low. And that's where the smart money reversal occurred, and we completely ripped face after this. But this is how you're able to trade the sell side of the curve even though we're in a bullish environment. And that is why I was short today. very high probability key levels of liquidity that I was anticipating to act as a strong draw. The daily profile helped with that as well, but that is the entire reasoning behind this trade. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.